2, 1.
Here we go!
Welcome to Sorare in the States Football. Here are your hosts, the Taco Slayer Jorge and MLS card guy Chris.
Welcome back to another So Rare in the States episode. Orlando City is massive. Chris, how you doing?
I think that's it. I think we just cut the show there. We've done enough.
That's literally all I had written down. I just wanted to
That
come
was
on
the
here.
show notes. So.
I just wanted to come on and say Orlando City is massive because we're going to win the MLS Cup, and that's it. I just want to say hi, bye, show my face, hello, and see you.
You know, if you ain't first, you're last. You still ain't first yet. So
no, but we are second in the Supporter Shield. We're second in the East, and we're just
not first.
Hey, first is the worst, second is the best.
That is just not true.
Because we're all in kindergarten or first grade again. Let's go. Holy smokes, Chris. Another weekend of MLS has come and gone. But guess what? There's a quick turnaround and another midweek. So rest in peace, your show rare lineups, because rotation is just rude.
We get more midweek munchies. It's great. But also rotation, which is not great. But also it's the playoff stretch. So maybe there won't be that much rotation. But also these teams have played so many games in a row that they have to rotate at some point.
Can I just say that setting my So Rare lineups last night was probably the most that I have struggled in a long time. Because even with Leagues Cup, I know people were wishy-washy and a lot of goalkeeper rotation screwed people a lot in the beginning. But it was not as bad as I think it feels like now, or we're all too much in our own heads and we just feel like we got it, and there's congestion and rotation, and we all feel like we have a handle, where we're just kind of confusing ourselves, and it was not fun at all. But it is what it is. Hey, there's some opportunity, right? You hit all 5, you already automatically have a chance to maybe pull out a little something. But don't get it twisted, because for those players that play all of So Rare and not just the MLS or the Americas, Champions League is starting right now. In fact, we are the champions.
We have to sing the theme song every time we say the champion. Every time we see Champions League.
Well, good thing I'm
Champions.
Well, now I know I'm never going to say it again. And we love y'all so much that guess what? We could be watching some great CL football. See what I did there? And all right,
the CL.
We could be watching that right now, but instead we're hanging out here talking together for you to consume later on, because we just love the MLS like that, and it's going to be awesome. But before we get into it, there's a lot going on. Okay, we're going to get through this weekend slate. We're going to do something a little different. We're going to preview the midweek. Give you, I know, confused. I'm going to stumble over my words a lot.
Preview? What's
a preview? Dude, you know what? We're out here. We're innovate. We're trying new things. If y'all, whoever's listening, and I don't know, I don't check the numbers because I just don't care. This is fun for me. Okay.
Listen up, St. Croix.
Yeah. Whoever.
Yeah.
Let us know. Come reply. Come hang out with us. Slide into our DMs. Let us know what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear. What is annoying? Am I annoying? Tell me to shut up. I don't know. I don't care. I just want to hang out and talk to y'all. Shout out all of y'all listening. And by the way, don't forget, we do have the So Rare in the States private league going on right now.
That's true.
Which will be rewarding up near the top, because I'm still going to buy some more here in the next week and announce that for you guys. There is an Aaron Long. We love our Aaron Longs. There is a Giassi Zardes who, I don't know, will continue to play in the MLS again at some point. Maybe Austin. Hello. And I'm throwing in there Facundo Torres, which is the GOAT right now. He is finding incredible form.
Hot.
Is doing what it is. He is hot.
We will be keeping him until he no longer is hot, and then we will be giving him away.
Exactly. Until then, he's sitting in my gallery, not doing much because I'm afraid to prioritize him right now. Anyway,
so you said there's we don't want you guys to forget about the league, but there is one person we want to forget about the league, and his name is Hoodwink.
Yikes!
Because I don't know how he's cheating, but he's cheating. He's in 5th right now, and I know that's not holding. I know it. It's not going to happen.
See, you're gonna come in here and talk smack to Hoodwink, but over here, coming in 3rd place in the league, last week,
Yeah.
racking in
Yeah,
390
he cheated.
points. Oh yeah, he has
Yeah.
Carlos Heel. Is that cheating?
Yes.
Oh.
Carlos Heel and Cucho Hernandez. That's not fair.
Okay. Well,
I
listen,
can't do that.
listen. I don't know. Chris is just like chatting to me on the side, sending me some chat. Said apparently Hoodwink's not allowed to win any rewards. I don't know. Take that up with Chris, not me. I didn't say that. Love you. Don't forget about a private league.
Better.
Show us the lineups because I put up a complete stinker. Look at that. Look at that. Lovely. DP took out
Patrick
Patrick.
Schulte. Love the shout.
Yeah, you know, we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to take this off the screen because you want to talk about Patrick Schulte. We're going to hop right in 4-3. Orlando.
What a game.
Orlando City, Columbus Crew. Not just saying this because I am an Orlando fan, but yes, I'm saying this because I am an Orlando fan. This is probably the game of the year. Chris, did you watch any of this game? Did you go back and watch the highlights once you saw this scoreline?
Absolutely not. I was at a wedding, so I feel like I get a pass for that. And also, we have games like every weekend again. So, yeah, I didn't see any highlights, but my God, 4-3, Diego Rossi on the score sheet. Facundo Torres subs in, still comes up with a goal because my man has the goods. And Gulo cutting on the score sheet, that's good for me too. Yeah, it looks like it was a crazy game. Explain it to me.
Let me paint this picture for you, right? It's the 71st minute, all right? 71st minute. The game's coming to a close. It's hot. We're tired legs. We make some substitutions. The score line is 3-1 Columbus.
Yeah.
In the 71st minute, okay? In
Spoiler.
27 minutes.
Didn't stay that way.
Did not stay that way because in the last 27 minutes of this game, Orlando City managed to come back, and granted, two of them were just set piece and corners, and just Columbus just pure inability to clear a ball out of the box that fell to Ramiro Enrique twice in a row. Wow. Came down to the last ball, the last play of the game. Last ball into the box, and it just happens to fall to defeat Ramiro Enrique, who gets it done in the most incredible scenes. Exploria was electric. Everything was electric. Wow. Incredible scenes. Orlando City is massive. We have said it. Do you think Orlando City could make a run for the MLS Cup?
Absolutely
Okay.
not.
All right.
No chance.
This show's canceled. All right.
We're not even going to talk about that.
Come on.
No chance.
Come on. Just a teeny bit.
No chance.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
No chance.
Okay. All right. Well, you're wrong. So you're wrong. What a game. We've said it. Columbus is questionable defensively, but they will outscore you on any night. The chance that
They're
your
good.
team
Yeah.
the chance that your team outscores them on a random Saturday or a Wednesday, not very likely.
Playoffs. Yeah. Different
It'll
story.
be interesting. Give me this matchup in the playoffs again, and it will be insane.
Really? You'd want this matchup in the playoffs?
No,
I would want to avoid Columbus if it were me.
I mean, if we're going to make MLS Cup, we'll probably have to face them eventually. Because right now, Columbus is up there with...
I don't know, though. Because like the way that works, right? When you score a lot of goals, if it's not your night and you just hit the post a few times and you can't play defense, you lose and you're out. But if it is your night, you're going to beat anybody. So it's like you don't want to play that team, but at the same time, like the odds of you actually seeing that team like deep in the playoffs are probably pretty small.
While I agree with that, this Columbus team has proven that they have no problem scoring goals.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
that's not an issue for them. The issue is other teams being able to outscore them.
Right.
But there's been two games this season, obviously. The first one was like a 3-3 draw. Same thing. Columbus went up early, defensively again. And then we got a 4-3 now. If this was in the playoffs, like, dude, it'd be incredible scenes. It would be stressful. But I have faith because we've shown it twice now that we can come back against Columbus. But this Columbus team is incredibly fun. Don't get it twisted. It was a loss is a loss. It happens. Happens a lot to this Columbus team from winning positions. But it is what it is. And yeah, Orlando City's massive. I'm just going to keep repeating that. This is my episode to do it, and you cannot get upset because I don't think anybody can deny how incredible that match was.
I can't deny the matchup. I can deny that you're in first place because you are not in first place. So,
yeah, no. No,
Just trying to shoot holes. I'd much rather. You're right now. You're playing Nashville. I'd much rather play Nashville.
Honestly, nobody wants to play first because whoever ends up first in the East is most likely going to face this second team that we're going to talk about here because
Atlanta United.
Okay. 5-2 Inter Miami, right? And I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because I'm tired of talking about Miami and this is our time. Florida is purple. No Messi.
It's not.
No party.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, it is. First of all, do you understand how hard this match was for me? Okay. Like, I've been wanting to watch Inter Miami. No, there's no winners here for me.
There's no winners for you.
Watching Inter Miami go down finally was incredible. Being at the hands of the thrashing of the complete murder of Inter Miami by Atlanta United hurts my soul a little bit, but I will tip my hat out to those in the ATL because incredible scene. You love to see it. You want to know
why that hurts your soul? Because Atlanta's hot and they coming. They're trucking now.
Atlanta at the beginning was nothing to bat an eye at. Now Atlanta's a little worrying. Giacomakis, Almada, all these new additions. Silva right here doesn't really show up on Sorare, but when you watch him on the pitch, boy, it is a sight to see.
My player of the game is Kamal Miller, who scored a 1.4, which is very difficult to do. Like, you can be bad enough to just get a bunch of decisive downs and get zeros, but to actually still have a point, that's hard. Like, that's real hard.
Hey, Kamal Miller.
Somebody hit threshold because Kamal Miller got 1.4 points. I guarantee it.
Listen, Kamal Miller is class. Unfortunately, he plays for the wrong team. But
he used to play for the right team.
It is great because of any player that you want to play in Inter Miami, it would be Kamal Miller, who has played every single game.
Yeah.
Nonstop, hasn't missed. His scores are great. He puts up good scores, and this one is incredible. No, it's incredible for cat modes, though.
There you go.
You love
There's always a positive.
You love to see it. That 1 point is the greatest thing that could have happened because Kamal Miller, 100%. Go get your Kamal Millers. It's a good play, and his cat is now looking a little bit prettier. Moving on
for us.
Moving on to Philly and Cincinnati. Jose Martinez.
Heavyweight fight.
Bangers only.
Yeah.
Bangers only. And Chris, tell me this. Is Jack McGlynn finally a safe-ish play in this team?
Yes. Yes, he is. Because isn't Leon Flock hurt?
I think that's who it was, yes.
Yes. If Leon Flock is not playing, Jack McGlynn's 100% starter because they basically split time. And Jack McGlynn's left foot is like the second best left foot in MLS behind a certain young man in South Beach. So, yes, Jack McGlynn is fantastic, and I will back him all the time, no matter what.
Yeah,
and I think I'm not even a big fan of Leon Flock, to be fair.
I'm not either.
I think he's good, but he's not Jack McGlynn good. So this is actually kind of a good thing that he got hurt for Philly, to be fair.
I love it. We've mentioned it before, how he's one of the guys that you want to play, but you can't always really trust it in that rotation. Guys like Schaffelberg,
killing it in cap modes for me.
But lately, like it is all in Jack McGlynn right now. That is what you should be saying. If you own a Jack McGlynn, you should be all in right now because he is performing at a level, getting those decisives for you, and it is great to see. Cincy, I don't know, man. They were running away with it. Now all of a sudden, getting a little questionable. But
well, no, like let's call this what it is. Lucho Acosta didn't play this game, and they still tied one of the best teams in the league.
But it was a comeback.
It was away, right? Wasn't this in Philly?
I
think it was away.
No, I don't know. Hey, Sorare Data, you should tell us if it's home or away or not. I really don't know.
I'm voting away, but that's just me. I have no actual inside information. And yes, we could Google it. We hear you, but we're not going to because we don't care that much. But yeah, Lucho Acosta is the MVP, no doubt about it. He is the most valuable player. He moves the attack forward, and they still get a draw against one of the best teams in the league. This is such a good sign for me for Cincinnati going into the playoffs.
No, it's good. It's good. It really is. And it's a comeback win too. Build that confidence a little bit. And either way, they could afford to lose these. They are running away with the Supporter Shield race. They are still 8 points in the lead.
8 points, yep.
They are just fine.
Says the guy in second. Oh yeah, lose as many as you want. You're running away with
No,
it.
Don't worry, bro.
No.
Take some time off, bro.
We're not gonna catch you. Don't
Nah,
worry
dude.
about it.
Dude, reverse psychology, bro. Make
You're
him
not
feel
gonna catch
comfortable.
them,
Make him
though.
feel. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's just
whatever.
not gonna happen.
You know who's really not going to catch him though at this rate? The battle of the coachless. Too soon? Too soon? Maybe.
Not
Ooh.
too soon. Let's hound on New England for this one.
Oh
But
man.
yet, Carlos Hill still gives Hoodwink a freaking 90. What is this? Like, I feel like if you lose to Colorado, every player on that team should get zeros. That's how this should work. You know, like until we put Messi on that team next year, if you lose to Colorado, you get zeros. Every single one of you.
Not only that, but their one goal came from a defender, which you don't ever like to see.
Not just a defender, Omar Gonzalez.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man. Vintage MLS right there for anybody who's been following the league for a while. There you have it. Look,
On the flip side, for Colorado, Keegan
Massive.
Rosenberry back, love it. And Cole Bassett also underrated play. I was playing him in cap mode and he banged. So
hey, at least they
yeah,
stay consistent.
good for him.
Kevin Cabral still has done nothing.
That is he is very consistent. Yes.
A for effort. Hey, I didn't say he had to be consistently great. He's just consistent. You know what I'm saying? Look, it is what it is. Don't take away much from this. New England is, I feel so sorry for that organization because it is just a disaster, and the Colorado Rapids are just swinging for the fences. So it is what it is. Another game, though, that we all kind of saw coming, El Tráfico, which poor little old me on the East Coast late night MLS chaos fell asleep after halftime. Because I am a sleepy boy, and it is hard to stay up for these 10:30 matches sometimes, especially El Tráfico, which doesn't even start till like 11.
Yeah. Here's the story for this one. Okay.
Yes. Give it to me.
I know that it was 4-2, and I know this was El Tráfico. Can you tell me the name of the young fella in goal for LAFC? Who started this game?
Cray Pose back. All right.
Finally, he's back. Oh, God.
All right.
We're
Dude,
here.
Maxime.
I got my Aaron Long Maxi Crew stack is ready to go, baby.
Ooh,
It's a capped monster.
Oh, man, Maxime Crépeau is back. Not necessarily the way you want to receive him back, but
these games are
he is indeed back. Though. I know it is what it is. If you're looking at El Tráfico, you play your attackers and you try to stay away from the defenders because you're always going to get this chaos.
Attack each other. Yeah, they don't believe in playing defense against each other.
And okay, because clearly I watched one of these games, fell asleep to the other ones. If you are listening to this, in the comments, on Twitter, whatever it is, let us know. What was the game of the night? Did El Tráfico once again take the game of the weekend, as it always does? Or was Orlando City and Columbus the game of the weekend? Let us know.
It was Orlando.
Let's go. You're only saying that because I'm here. Anyway, like I said, we're going to run through these because we have so much to talk about. And there's a lot more games coming. But El Tráfico, crazy as always. LAFC, hey, is LAFC back? Are their woes over? Are they going to come back and finish the season strong?
Nope. I'm not sold yet.
Crépeau's back.
That's a good step.
That's a good step.
And Palacios. Don't forget Palacios. He's also
you got to imagine that Crépeau is now going to at least win them 1 or 2 games they probably wouldn't have won with John McCarthy. Right. And that makes a difference at the end of the season.
And it's not like, they're in second. Like, it's not like they're like losing by a lot.
No, but their form has drastically dropped.
They have a game in hand of their 6 points behind St. Louis for first place. Like, come on.
They're not invincible right now.
They were like, had they lost this game, they would have been like in a fight for just to make the playoffs. Also, the other thing this does is almost eliminate LA Galaxy from contention, which is, I'm sure they would love that.
Which continue to deal with injuries. And it's just sad to see they're just dropping like flies over there in Carson. You hate to see it. Speaking of dropping like flies, Dallas won, Seattle Sounders won. Paul Arriola is back. And just like that,
but he's not back.
Went down again and could potentially be hurt again.
Poor
he went off, tried to come back, tried to play through it, and could not. Poor Paul indeed, because I bought him for this weekend, actually.
Yeah.
So. I bought him. The pick scores popped up on Silver Data. He was like a AAA or a AA. He looked nice. I needed a forward.
Threw up a 60.
He did.
His,
he did.
His
did
L10 was like a 30 something because he just subbed a couple times.
It did kind of work out. I lost a reward last minute thanks to Opta in my cat mode. It sucked to see, but I can't keep up with these European teams, and now he went down again. But I did buy a jersey mint limited for like $7, which was nice. I don't know who was getting rid of that. So if you're interested in that, let me know. We might be able to trade something. I might.
Is it a DC or is it a Dallas?
No, it's a Dallas jersey mint.
Ugh.
Yeah. Hey, someone's out there. Shout out.
Fair enough.
Shout out Germ and all those people. So if you want it, let me know. I'm not mean. I'll let it go easily. Don't worry. I'll
hold give you $30 for
it. One ETH only, nerd.
Also, Reed Baker Whiting also played, which is cool. He's been a big prospect for a while. I don't know if he's been playing consistently, but he got an assist, so good for him.
I don't know, but I keep hearing his name being thrown around.
He's been a big prospect in like the U.S. national team setup. And all that
is
stuff,
that what it is?
Yeah, I didn't know he was playing, which is cool.
He is playing. He is. Yeah. Let's see here.
He's been playing a good bit. He started twice.
Hey, at least he's subbing in. At least that's always a good sign.
Yeah.
It's an even worse sign when they don't even get the sub in. So there you go. Is that like a play? I mean, you might know. Is that a play for next year? Maybe is there that possibility?
Oh yeah. I think it's a low risk, like for the future type move.
Hey, and we love those on this show.
Oh yeah. I think I have like 6 of them.
Love them. Speaking of loving them, we love the Vancouver Whitecaps on this show. Who?
Yes, we do.
Got it done in Canada against Toronto. Oh, Toronto. More like Toronto. No.
This is incredible. Like they have Insigne, Bernadeschi, and like still like other
and Osorio.
Like I don't. What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. And you know what the worst part is that like it's not like they're not producing. Like you get production from Bernadeschi. Like Insigne will show up with a goal. Like Osorio dominates the midfield still. Michael Bradley is playing center back.
I don't like that.
That might be it.
I don't think anybody likes that.
That's the reason why.
But Latif Blessing at center back and we'll be okay.
Hey, it's a versatile player if I've ever seen one. Way to go. Vancouver Whitecaps, who we said they're on a 7-game road trip. They're not going to be able to get it done. Chris, I think they're getting it done.
They're getting it done. Ryan Raposo is that guy. Ryan Gould's also really good.
Brian White is that guy. The guy who I can't wrap my head around trusting because I know how it can be, right? I've seen the bad side. But
I still don't trust.
He just keeps doing it this year.
I don't believe you.
He just keeps doing it.
Richie Larea also coming back to haunt his old team.
I love that. I will admit that Richie Larea is one of the guys that I'm considering for next year in Rare. I think a little bit of time in the system, a little preseason, a little something. I think Richie Larea, like I said before, in that Gressel role, could be huge for this team.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. Congratulations to the Vanny Sartinis. You love to see it. San Jose 2. Real Salt Lake 1.
Also, hold on. Continue. One more thing about Vancouver.
Whoa, yes.
Whoa, we're in a home playoff spot right now in Vancouver. Like, what? What the heck? Okay, sorry. I just noticed that and I had to throw that in there. That's wild.
Hey, we love it. We
Toughest
support
place to play in North America.
We support the Vanny Sartinis, okay?
We do.
We do support
almost as much as the Ben Olsens, who they would play in the first round, and who they play this weekend, but we'll get to that.
We will get to that. But real quick, San Jose 2, Real Salt Lake 1. The woes continue for Real Salt Lake. Ever since Ruiz went down, they just haven't been able to get it done. Arango continues to score, as he does, but it wasn't enough for this because Christian Espinoza is also incredibly good, and it was San Jose's night, which it isn't always. It is a battle of the somethings.
And I thought it was interesting that Nico Sarkis, or however you say his name, and Cade Cowell started together.
Ooh.
That's fun.
But
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm a big Jamiro Montero guy.
I was too.
I was not get assists or goals. It's just like, if you just get one, like, you're in great shape, dude.
I mean, he started this season off, I think it was this season where he started off really strong, but it just his scores
been
have kinda
hurt.
just dropped off. And
Yeah,
I
he's been
don't
hurt.
know. I was actually looking at him the other day, but he's also getting older too, and it's
True. Yeah.
it's a little questionable. And it is what it is. Two teams, we get what we get. Speaking of, we'll get hype here. The Ben Olsons.
Yeah, the fighting Ben Olsons.
Let's go.
Corey Baird, baby.
Oh, I told you. I've been telling you. I've been saying it. You refuse to believe me. Chris, are you on the Corey Baird train yet?
Absolutely not. No chance. I'm on the Artur train, though. He was good in Columbus, and him and Hector Herrera are a heck of a midfield with Bossy. Like, that's a heck of a midfield right there.
And Carrasquilla? Do not.
Carrasquilla is good, too. He's got great hair, and I always know where he is on the field. He's like Axel Witsel. I always know where that guy is on the field.
It's either that or the guys that wear like very bright neon shoes, like boots. Like, man, I love it when they have like bright highlighter yellow boots on, because I'm like, I know exactly where you are the entire time. When there's a lot of bodies and limbs in the box, it's easy to tell who scored that goal with a nice shiny boot. The Ben Olsons continue to do it. Corey Baird. Klaus is back. Klaus is back. This is 3 decisives in like 3 games, I think, since he's been back. I think immediately came back, started doing it again. St. Louis. Wow, St. Louis. St. Louis and the Ben Olsons.
I don't think we've talked enough about St. Louis this year, because we're just like, they'll fade. We're like, they've got 5 games left, man. Like, they're not fading.
Listen,
like, they're not going anywhere. They're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna have a home game in the playoffs. Like,
after watching St. Louis a little bit more since like we started doing this and going, wow, I really haven't watched St. Louis this year. They're a good team. They will choke you out, and they will press you into the ground unless you're the Ben Olsons.
We talked about them being Red Bulls-esque, though.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yes.
Do we think they can actually make a run in the playoffs?
I don't know.
It's crazy to say that about a number 1 seed, like running away with the number 1 seed. But like, it's a legitimate question, I feel like. And I feel like if you are European and maybe you don't pay as much attention to this league, you might just go, I want a playoff stack. I'll get either St. Louis or Cincinnati. Like, don't get St. Louis. Because I could see them being one and done. But I could also see them I've called them falling off all year, and they just haven't done it. So maybe they just like win MLS in their first year, and it's just like it really is that easy. I don't know.
Well, that's like, and we kind of said it when we were talking about Columbus too, where it's like when I don't want to say like gimmicky because that's not the right word, but when like there's like a specific way that your team is successful, specific system where like it only works in one specific way and it has to like run perfectly that way. In a playoff game, in a 1-game knockoff, which it isn't anymore at least in the first rounds, but later on, if they want to make a run, it's one of those things where everything has to hit and everything has to go right for you to be successful, and can't really count on that when you're putting NFTs on the line, or
I can't put my 65-cent limited card on the line for this.
No, it is too risky. You just can't do it. But I don't doubt that St. Louis, push comes to shove, if they're going to have home games. That's another thing in this playoff format, especially in the first round. They should be easily be able to dominate those games at home and maybe make a run, unless they run into the Ben Olsons, who apparently have an idea on how to get by them.
Just draw them. That's the key.
You want to know, though, do you want to know who is not good? The Hudson River Derby.
Oh, God. We went there. Okay.
Yeah. Buddy, the Hudson River Derby.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't even feel bad that we haven't talked.
Hurt.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. I'm gonna get really seriously with you here. I want to get real serious, real close, right? I want to lean in right here and tell you and ask you. Actually, I want to ask you, do you know who bought a Keaton Parks Rare before the weekend?
No.
It was me.
Why would you do that? The kid's had enough struggles on his own. Why would you do that to him?
Because the scores are nice. and they're mid. They are very consistent across the board, and I'm slowly starting to build out something. I was like, you know what? As I accumulate these rares for next year, because I'm focusing on next year, I'm gonna get some guys in that middle of the park, maybe potentially
Middle of
squeeze
the
in
Keaton
one
Park.
threshold.
See what I did there?
Woo! I do see what you did there, and I loved every second of it. But yeah, I don't know. I was looking for consistency, planning on next year, and immediately after I buy him, he goes down. So that is my fault. I apologize. These teams are bad. I don't even want to talk to him. Hudson River Derby, more like Hudson River at the bottom. Charlotte and DC.
Just like Titanic.
oh, too soon.
Oh,
Charlotte and DC with
that was an
another
exciting 0-0 draw.
Oh man, with another exciting 0-0 draw with the lovely 92 points for Christian Kalina on the clean sheet. You love to see it. Charlotte, DC. I would call this
I would call this a Miami win, is what I would call it.
Actually, you know what was a Miami win?
Miami needs both these teams to draw
this entire weekend because none of the teams above them.
Well, other than the actual Miami game, which
yeah, but it doesn't even matter. It literally doesn't even matter. They barely lost anything. But Charlotte, DC, you get what you got. Whole lot of nothing. That's what you get.
Donovan Pines.
The
Sorare unicorn strikes again. I still don't think he should ever see an MLS field, but he just keeps putting up 80s and 90s. So
I'm telling you, man, you refuse to believe it. As a DC fan, you refuse to believe it.
I mean, you know how there's some guys, like we talked about the dude from Atlanta who's like, he had a 35, but you were like, well, actually on the field, like you can see the impact.
Right.
This is the opposite of that, or like Pines has an 80, but it's like, well, he also is like responsible for the 3 own goals that we scored that like don't get counted, and like all kinds of like positional mistakes all the time. Like he's just not good.
Hey, at least he's finding the back of the net.
Tomato.
Good. I don't know.
He's not good. He's just 6'8".
But he'll win you some rewards. And for us, and Sorare in the States, he is good. Chris, your biases, I don't know. Whatever. You're not wrong, but you're wrong, is what I'm saying. You know what else is wrong? 3 0-0s in the MLS. Oh. It is just wrong. It feels wrong. Doesn't feel right. Chicago Fire and Montreal. What I would like to call Battle of the Mids.
Yeah, this was another Miami win here.
Yep. It's a Battle of the Mids. Both Montreal and Chicago, who
Kai Kamara forgot to score late.
As he's about to break the record.
I know. Like this is set up perfectly for him to go and steal 3 points. They had no business stealing any points.
They're just not consistent. When Montreal and Chicago Fire, you watch them sometimes and you're like, oh, like look at those scores. If you look at the scores on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, there are some nice scores, which means they did some cool stuff on the field. It just wasn't their night. It wasn't falling in. This could have easily been 3-3. It could have easily been 1-0. It was just as easily 0-0 because these teams are mid AF.
George Campbell, the greatest. Next.
There you go. George Campbell, the greatest. There you go. Minnesota United 0. Sporting Kansas City 1. Once again, Sporting Kansas City continues to show that, hey, don't count them out. There is something there. Re-signing Alan Pulido, as we have talked about on this show, said, hey, I think we should take a second look at Alan Pulido. Well, Sporting Kansas City did just that. They gave Alan Pulido a second look.
Promptly put up a 37.
Yeah, bro, signed a brand new contract, get that new money.
Now he doesn't have to try anymore.
Exactly. Once you get there, he got the job he wanted. All of a sudden, that was it. Reynoso continues to do everything he could possibly do to be involved in every single pass and every single play that Minnesota United creates. They just couldn't get it done.
You know who did get it done? Timmy Mealia. Timmy Meals is back. And SKC, don't look now, but SKC's 1 point from the playoff line. Yeah. They got some issues with like Dallas having 2 games in hand on them, but my, oh my, they're getting close. Couple more wins. and we'll be talking about SKC.
Hey, I've been saying it about both of these teams, but a little bit more recently is Sporting Kansas City, where there is something there, and it's getting kind of cool. But then again, at the end of the day, the Western Conference is the Western Conference, and you don't know what you're going to get. It's going to come down to decision day, and anything's going to happen. Some teams are going to fall out. Some teams are going to fall in. Some teams are going to crawl in. I don't know, but we'll get there.
Dallas
And
is probably going to crawl in.
some implications of that were here in the battle of the Jolly Green Giants. All right. They sell green beans.
That's a
They sell
great
peas.
name for this game.
Yes.
Can we submit that to official MLS media?
Yes. I will leave that to you. But yeah. Austin, Portland, 2-1. Portland wins again. Evander.
What the heck's going on in Portland?
I will tell you that
I guess
Evander.
Gio Savarese just needed to be let go, and now all of a sudden Felipe Mora is the second coming of Diego Chara.
You could say
Not
Evander
Diego
got
Chara.
tired of the slander.
Oh,
And
okay.
decided to start playing again. And the Charas are back, man. Dude, are the Charas ever going to retire?
No. That's Yumi, though. Where's the other Chara?
Probably suspended.
Yumi's like younger, significantly younger.
Where's Diego?
Diego is like 38 or 39.
Oh, he wasn't even in the squad, which means he was probably suspended for something. Because if anybody knows Diego Chara, he most likely did something he wasn't supposed to. And
he had the MLS record for red cards like a decade ago. The career record.
Yeah, he has the career record for fouls, I think, too now, or yellow cards, or I don't know. This guy,
probably all of them.
You want to talk about master of the dark arts? It is Diego Chara, MLS legend of the dark arts. Austin, still bad. Portland, new coach bump. Told you, Evander's getting tired of the slander. All of a sudden, he's playing well. Is Evander becoming? Actually, ask this: is Evander a guy you're going to look at next year? Because he has 1 year under his belt. He has the one MLS, the extra time David Goss theorem.
We always say,
new coach.
Yep. Well, we always say, like, give him some time because like MLS travel is totally different. Like, it's 3 good games in a row, so I'm not ready to just like all in. But that price is kind of juicy for the AA potential that you get.
Starting to get a little spicy.
You know,
little spicy. It's something to think about with the Portland Timbers.
It's only 25.
He is only 25. But it is what it is. MLS chaos ensues. But after all that chaos, and you keep bringing it up, how Miami won multiple games without actually winning their game. Chris, can you update us on the standings in the MLS? Let us know where we're at. Who has a shot? Who is not? Who is about to get eliminated? Looking at you, LA.
So it looks like Orlando is still not in first place. It's our first update. Cincinnati still has the upper hand by multiple points. The exact number is 8.
Wow.
New England is fallen down to 3rd, which doesn't really surprise me. Can they hold on to a home playoff game? It's going to be a good question. Because I think Columbus and Atlanta are coming. They're trucking. You know, they're coming full speed. And I think one of them is going to catch New England. Philly's in 4th. Fine. Columbus is in 5th. Atlanta's in 6th. That's the upper echelon, right? Those are the top 6.
Yep.
And then there's a big drop.
I'm comfortable with that.
To Nashville. And
big drop.
The only reason there's a big drop is because Nashville hasn't scored a goal all year, right? They have
Bro.
great defense. They haven't scored any goals except for Hadi Mukhtar.
Nope.
And then there's another big drop, and then we get to the 8-9 game, which is really not going to matter because whoever wins that 8-9 game is going to get thumped in Cincinnati. So who really cares about this last 2 teams, except if there's a guy in pink as one of the last 2 teams. So that's what we're going to focus on. Montreal is in 8th. DC's in 9th. Chicago is in 10th. Wow. Charlotte is in 11th. NYCFC is in 12th. Red Bulls are in 13th. And Miami slips down, basically loses a point on the entire field since everybody above them drew. They lose
Lucky.
a game and a point, which is really not good. Like they were looking like they were in good shape with 8 games to play and 6 points to make up, and like, okay, we're trucking. Now 7 games to play, 7 points down. Now we're getting back to like kind of need some help territory. They do play Charlotte a couple times, so they can still control their own destiny against Charlotte, which is good for them. But they have to win both games, and going to Charlotte is not easy.
No, it is
Because
not.
Trippin B will be drunk and he will yell at you. And even if you're the greatest player of all time, that will get in your head. And then there's a team from Canada who is out. Western Conference. St. Louis. Trucking along. 49 points.
They're doing it. You don't
They're
believe
doing
it, but they're doing it.
Only 4 ties this year, though, which is crazy. I think it's funny that St. Louis and Dallas actually have the same number of losses this year, and one is in first and the other is out of the playoffs. That's incredible to me. Yeah, that shows you how close this league is. Also, the same number of losses as New York City FC, by the way. 10 losses up there.
The East is better. The East is better. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, LAFC and St. Louis with a big clash. St. Louis can basically effectively clinch the number 1 seed with a win this weekend, or this midweek, I guess, against LAFC. Big game.
Big game.
Big game for them.
So once again, an LAFC game is massive. Wow. Shocking.
I have a feeling LAFC is going to win this and make it a race again. It's going to be, they're going to have a game in hand and be 3 points down and effectively control their own destiny again. Below them, Seattle, call me when Christian Roldan is not hurt. Vancouver plowing up into a home playoff game, up in 4th, 41 points, still just 2 behind LAFC for 2nd place. And then we've got the 3 amigos that everybody counted out at the beginning of the year, Fighting Ben Olsen's down in 5th.
Go
RSL, who is going the wrong way, but they're still in 6th, and San Jose, all tied on 40 points as of right this second. And then
as of this moment right now.
This second right now, because there will be games played later. And then we've got Minnesota, and then Portland has snuck their way into the number 9 seed, which is cool. Good for Portland.
Fighting Avengers.
One thing of note here, Portland is 1 point ahead of Kansas City and Dallas has 2 games in hand.
Ooh.
So you would hope if Dallas can get a point out of the 2 games that they would be ahead of Portland. They're also ahead on goal differential. So yeah, you hope Dallas is still in a playoff spot right now, but they're getting like dangerously close to the line, and Austin is like out of the line now.
Yep.
Like everybody tried to tell me Austin was good, and
who
here we are.
I need receipts because
Trip and B tried to tell me Austin was good. In fairness, this was in the beginning of the year when
okay, all right.
When like we all thought they were good, except me. I didn't think they were good.
I don't remember what I said.
And then we have the losers of El Trafico, and we have the
Kevin Cabrals.
The fighting Kevin Cabrals.
The fighting Kevin Cabrals.
Maybe not fighting is the wrong word. The on the field as well, Kevin Cabral. But they're now tied with Toronto for dead last, so they're in a fight for the dead last spot.
It is the little things. Sometimes it's just the little things, you know. But looking at
game
that,
in hand on Toronto too.
Hey, there you go. Hey,
not that means anything because they'll lose that game in hand. But
so who's winning the wooden spoon, Colorado or Toronto?
Oof.
That is the question everybody wants to know.
My gut says it's going to be Toronto, which is crazy. But then that means that they get Insigne, Bernardeschi, and Messi next year, which is pretty OP if you ask me.
No.
Yeah, dude, that would not be very fun. And Javinko, if you believe the training reports.
Yeah, what's up with that? What are those?
He's been training with them for like 4 years, so I don't know.
He's working out. Whatever.
I don't know why anyone even thinks he can still play. The dude's like 38. Like,
listen, for any Toronto fans out there, if you're listening and you have a little bit of hope, if there's a little bit of light, I just want you to know that Junior Urso was also training with the team for like 2 weeks, and then we signed him. So there is hope for you.
No,
or not. You probably don't want him anyway. Your team.
Yeah.
What is he gonna do? What?
Nothing.
What is he gonna do for you? Nothing.
Maybe sell a few
Nothing.
tickets. That's it. Like
Hey,
it's a pure nostalgia. It's like
in this economy,
when baseball teams sign like 45-year-old sluggers just because they used to be really good. And it's like, well, dude's hitting like 180. Like he sucks.
hey, sometimes that's all you need, right? And that's at Toronto, don't do it, y'all.
You
Yeah,
gotta
y'all
think
need
about the ticket sales too, you know?
Hey, they got to pay for some upgrades because, oh boy, is that team rough. But again, let us know how y'all feel about our show. Let us know what you want to hear. We're gonna hop into Wednesday slate of games. Right? We're gonna do a little something. We're gonna jump into the Wednesday slate of games. We're gonna go over them. We're gonna talk about them, and then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna see if we were right or we were wrong, or
This
who
is where we
knows?
get to look foolish.
Yes.
Because instead of
See?
saying what has happened, we are now going to try to tell you what is going to happen. And
Put
that
'em
is
up.
where you look stupid.
Okay, fine. We'll start here with Charlotte in Philadelphia at 7:30 on Apple TV. Of course,
Ugh.
Charlotte, Philadelphia in Charlotte. Who you got for this game? Because right off the bat,
yeah,
there's no way Charlotte stands a chance against Philly. That's just how I feel.
I don't know about that. You think there's no chance they stand against Philly?
Yes.
All right, let me hit you with this.
Okay.
Charlotte has lost one of its last 12 regular season home matches, dating back to March.
Ooh.
One of their last 12.
See, Maury
now,
sounded
lots
foolish.
of draws in there, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw.
Hey, that's still not a win.
But it's not a loss.
Okay.
And Miami needs losses. Like, Miami needs this game to go one way and one way only. But we do have Jack McGlynn, so, kind of balances out.
Jack McGlynn and Jose Martinez, bangers only. I don't know. When I look at the Charlotte and Philly matchup, watching Charlotte enough is like it is just so quick for them to just lose their defensive shape, and it kind of just turns into chaos sometimes. At least that's the way that I interpret it. And Philly is going to love that. And Philly will capitalize on your mistakes, and they will shove it right down your throat. And
sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
You're good?
I was done. Yep.
Yeah. Home team has won in a shutout every single time. So maybe it's Christian Kalina season here.
Hey,
coming off a 90.
I will admit that I do not play Christian. I own a Christian Kalina. I don't play him enough because I don't have that faith in Charlotte. And then I'm continuously wrong. And I'm missing out on all the great scores.
I actually would not mind starting
So
Christian Kalina this week, purely because Philly's going to take shots, so he's going to get AA, and there's like a semi-decent chance he gets a shutout. So if he gets a shutout, he's putting up another 90,
Okay.
Like, it's going to be a big score.
I like
or
that side
he
of
just
it.
gets pumped for 4, which, cool. But I really like Christian Kalina's matchup this week.
Okay. That's fair. I like you're not wrong. Where he will make those saves. They are really good at home. I've been to Bank of America. It is
There
very,
will be drum
very
tripping
intense in there.
bees all over the place.
Dude, it is intense. It is an intense place to play. It is loud. It is bumping. They play the music really loud. They have a wannabe Game of Thrones throne. You love.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it's pretty fancy. I was very tempted to run over there and sit in it, but
Game
it probably
of
would have caused
Charlotte.
problems. Ha! The Game of Crowns. Ooh.
Oh, there you go. That's better.
All right. Well, let me redeem myself right here and say that after what happened to Columbus this past weekend, they're going to take it out on Chicago, and Chicago's in trouble. It is a home game for Columbus.
The stats are pretty one-sided on this one.
I'm going to say poor Chicago on this one because I feel like they're going to reap just the pure anger that Columbus is going to have.
Start your Diego Rossi's, start your Cuchos. It's full speed ahead. Good, like if you need a week off of Chris Brady, go find somebody else. It could be a rough one. Columbus is unbeaten in 13 straight home games against the Fire. Columbus is unbeaten in 12 straight home games in all competitions. And Chicago's gone 4 straight matches without scoring a goal. So not only is this probably going to be a Columbus win, but Chicago's also can't score anymore, which is cool. And again, this is another Miami game where they need Columbus to win. They don't want draws.
And it'll probably go that way for them. Like I said, I just don't see it magically. Hey, you never know. Don Garber might make some phone calls and be like, "Hey, you know what to do?
Oi!
Oi, 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 oi! DC Atlanta. Is Atlanta going to be too tired to capitalize on whatever DC is going to be that night?
My gut says no.
Is there going to be a hangover from just obliterating?
My gut says no. But I don't know. I don't like to predict DC games because they just do whatever they want and they don't.
Because you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah,
they are a mystery box.
It's super annoying. Atlanta does have DC's number traditionally. Like this is a pretty one-sided rivalry, I guess. 5 Atlanta wins in a row over DC United. None of the 15 regular season meetings have ever ended in a tie. So we're probably looking at a win one way or the other.
I'm calling Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta looks nice.
I could see that, to be fair.
Atlanta's starting to look nice. And if they can just continue to do it, it is going, DC, you're in trouble. And like, what point? I mean, DC's close enough that they're going to be fighting for it, right? Because you got to think there's going to be.
Yeah. DC needs every point.
Games. Yeah.
DC needs every point. They have 5 games left. They need every point. That's the other thing. Like, you got to look at these teams with games in hand. Yes, it's an advantage, but it's also, you got to play more games in a shorter stretch.
Right.
So, like, DC, yes, they've played 1 more game than everybody and 2 more games than some people, but that means they have less games over the next month or however long's left to rest people. So, like, they just have to full send it every week, you know?
All right, and especially at the end, especially at the end at crunch time too, having that little bit of added rest, like they are going to be able to capitalize on tired legs. It's been a full season; it gets tiring. As a season ticket holder, I'm not going to lie. Every season around this time, I get to the point where I'm like, I don't even want to go to these games anymore. I just want to stay home.
I've had enough.
I've had enough. Like you get tired of it.
I've drank too many beers.
It's the travel, the beers, the parking, the walking, the traffic. It's just becomes so much after a while. It's just like, ugh. So I can't imagine running miles and miles on top of all that and getting beat up and taking studs to the knee and just all
I'm sure
sorts
Christian Benteke is tired of all the beers he's had during regular season games.
You don't know. You don't know. Don't judge his lifestyle off the pitch.
Potentially.
But yeah, Atlanta.
No, during games. So Inter Miami and Toronto. Toronto is really bad as a soccer team.
Toronto is very bad,
especially away from home.
Okay,
17 straight winless. That's not good. Only 4 of those were draws too. 13 losses.
Let me ask you this, and this is where I want to go with this. And this was the talk of the last couple days. Is Messi going to play this game? And does Messi have an injury nobody is talking about?
No, Messi doesn't have an injury.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure because I'm not like in the room, but like I'm 90% sure. Like the dude is what 36, 37, and he's just played like 9 games in 4 weeks. Like, come on,
dude, he hasn't played in like 2 weeks. Rest. So what?
He hasn't played like it seems like he hasn't played in 2 weeks, but he's only missed 2 games, and one of those was on international duty.
Yeah, exactly. He's been gone for 2 weeks.
He played like last midweek, right?
No. Did he?
Wasn't that LAFC game like a week ago?
No.
Maybe? It was on the weekend last week. It was like
that was he
from
played
today.
That.
It was like 9 days ago.
That's 2 weeks.
That's not
a week
2
and a half.
Weeks.
All right, a week and a half.
It's a week and a half.
Whatever.
No, I don't think he has an injury. I think he's just 36 and playing in South Florida in August. Like, what did we expect, guys? He's not going to play every single game. Come on.
I don't know.
He got to Argentina and was just like, "Oh my god, I'm so tired," and just didn't play. It was like, "Oh, okay. Like we need to give him a rest, or else the wheels will literally fall off." No, he's not hurt though. Will he play in this game? I don't know, because maybe Miami thinks they can win this game without him.
That is the
Like,
camp that I'm in. Is they play
but that's
Toronto
a
in the
dangerous
midweek.
game to play.
I mean, it's do you rest him for this? Like, you eventually have to bring him back, right? So, like, do you take Toronto home when you have Orlando on the weekend and Sunday in Orlando, which is a huge rival? Like, you got to think, like, both
Rest
teams
him
have
for
to be up for
that.
this game. No,
Rest him for the Orlando
Actually,
game.
no, I
Like,
say you
even
rest
if
him
he
Toronto.
plays against Orlando, you might lose that game anyway. Orlando's good. You're playing on the road. Like,
Yes.
you still probably not the favorite, even if Messi plays, even if he's fully healthy. You know? Like, I get it, but like, take your points and then just like lose to Orlando and then come back and try to win the rest. You know?
Here's the way
Take
that I
your
see it.
rest
He
in the
doesn't
game that you might not win.
he doesn't play in Toronto because you just continue to whatever you want to do with him. Let him full rest. You bring him on the second half in Orlando on Sunday because they have the Open Cup final on Wednesday, which obviously they're going to go for that.
Another
It's a
reason he should
trophy.
rest on Saturday.
No. Yes. Okay. But he hasn't played with his team. And by the time that game happens, 2 weeks. Okay. We'll give it the 2 weeks there.
No,
You
he
give
should
him.
play this game though.
I don't think he does. You let him fully rest. You bring him on for the second half of Orlando. Let him kind of work his way back into fitness. And then by the time that Wednesday comes around, boom, you're already full back speed, full back used to it. Like, give him like 45 to just work his way back into it. Not, it's messy, bro. He'll be just fine. But he hasn't really ran around in 2 weeks. Let him just like feel himself back into the team in the second half, which they might lose anyway, and then focus on the Open Cup. Like, my thing is, you can't take someone off for 2 weeks and expect them to just come right back in and everything just start flowing again. Work
2
them in a
weeks
little bit.
is not that long to be out for, even if it's a full 2 weeks. Like, you realize how many times this season we have 29 teams in this league. One team has a bye every single week. You realize every time we haven't had any midweeks back to back that somebody is off, like the whole team is off for 2 weeks in a row. It's the same time frame. You know, that's literally just one game off for most people.
I guess.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But then
are you smelling what I'm stepping in?
I do, but then why do we make the argument like back when we had the bye week in the playoffs? Like, oh well, like they get an extra week rest, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, the number one seed can't do it after going to the playoffs with rest. Like,
Well,
it's the same thing.
The only time that really mattered was the New England time, when New England was like great and lost to Atlanta that year. That I think it was COVID, either 2020 or 2021, when New England like set the points record and they were great and they had Carlos Seal and Gustavo Bou and everybody, and then they got beat by Atlanta because
that
they
was
were
like
off.
3 weeks, wasn't it? That was like
exactly.
There was an
they were off
international
for
break.
like 4 weeks in a row, and it was like, okay, that's like.
But even then, because when that happened, everybody started bringing up every other single situation. It was like, oh well, they always get the bye, and all the number one seeds that always get the bye end up crashing out of the playoffs, and yada yada yada. Because I don't know, man. Like, I'm just repeating what I see on the internet. All right. Granted,
that's normally a very good thing to do.
I don't want Messi to play in Orlando on Sunday because it makes it easier for us to get the dub.
I don't think he should play in Orlando on Sunday. To be fair, I'm starting him in the So Rare in the States challenge. I'm starting him midweek this week, and I am sitting him next week. I'm finding another option for the weekend.
Okay, all right, that's brave. That's bold. It's tough because you have to. People forget that Messi is a human being, and he is a person, and you can't expect him to show up like everyone. Like, how do you? First of all, I'm sorry if I know you, because it does suck. But the fact that Miami didn't go and play a sold out Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, and all these people spent a bunch of money to see Messi that are Atlanta fans and Miami fans and didn't get to see Messi is incredibly hilarious to me.
But like, somebody's got to be that guy. Like, somebody's got to be that guy. You know? Yeah, like, he cannot play every single game. It's just it's not a thing. You're not gonna go into Miami in freaking August and play 9 games in a month. It's just not happening.
But that is also on the MLS for using Messi as a marketing play. and continuously shoving it, which granted you're gonna do anyway.
Well,
Like it's not
yeah.
knocking them, but that is an indirect effect of that, where they created this Messi mania to the point where they just unrealistically were like, yeah, Messi's gonna come and play in all these stadiums and sell all these tickets, and like realistically, he is a human being, and it's just not sustainable.
Do you know whose fault this really is?
Who's?
The Miami FC of the USL. Because, and I'll get there. Just wait.
Oh yeah,
Miami FC should have beaten Inter Miami. They got to penalties and did not beat them in the Open Cup. Had they won the Open Cup, it would have saved all these extra games that Miami's played, all these rescheduled games that got sent later in the season. And then instead of trying to make up like 7 games to get back to normal, they would just be making up like Leagues Cup, like the last week of Leagues Cup. And that would be it. And they'd be, instead of being 3 games behind everybody, they'd be like 1 game behind everybody. You know?
yeah.
It's the Miami FC's fault, and Pittsburgh Riverhounds FC beat them for it this weekend.
Okay, all right.
And we are
Fair.
still in first place. And that is my weekly Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC plug.
I love it. All right, real quick, because somehow we just always end up on this stupid Miami and Messi tangent. If you
You secretly love Messi.
no, I really,
You secretly do.
you know what? I'm here for
You'll
the
never
context.
admit it.
It's what people want to talk about. As a Miami fan, are you happy with 2 trophies and no playoffs, or would you rather sacrifice the Open Cup, which most people don't care about anyway, and then shoot for the playoffs and try to win them both?
Trophy, 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 trophy. All day.
So you
Even
say,
though it's
season, who
literally
cares? Let's get 2 trophies.
yes, it is literally a meaningless trophy because they're already in Champions League. So like it means nothing to them outside of holding up a trophy at the end.
Right.
I still think they should go for the trophy just because it's a trophy. And it's not like a meaningless trophy. It is the oldest club.
Yeah.
It's like the oldest competition in the United States.
Yeah, it's like the United US. Like
It's like 114 years old or something.
I didn't say I thought
Soccer.
it was meaningless. I'm
Soccer-wise.
just most people do
No,
not
but
care
I
about
mean-
the Open Cup. Teams
but
don't even
like-
teams in the MLS don't even care about the Open Cup.
Until like the quarterfinals, and then they start caring.
Yeah.
And
if
I
they
think-
get there by
I think
chance, because they don't
That's
care.
what I mean. That's what I mean. But now we're in the finals. Like you care, obviously.
Yeah. So
Now,
okay.
will it matter because they're playing the Fighting Ben Olsens? That's a better question.
Can
The
they
Fighting
do
Ben
it?
Olsens will have a plan for young Leo. Don't you worry.
Okay, so in
Hector
this scenario,
Herrera.
Ache.
Herrera. This is going to be like Atletico against Barca. It's going to be great.
I love it. I'm so here for it. I love the Ben Olsens. So, all right, give me this one. If Miami loses the Open Cup and misses the playoffs, are people angry, or are they still just happy that they won Leagues Cup?
I think they're probably somewhat disappointed, but
Right.
especially if
But
Miami
they don't care. They have
continues
Messi.
to be really good and like misses by a point or two.
Right.
Like, I mean, they were in a big hole. Like we all knew how impossible this was going to be, and the fact that we're even talking about this is like semi potentially possible, I think is a testament to like I think any Miami fans is going to be like, okay, well, we were just in too big a hole this year. This next year is going to be crazy, and it very well might be. Like they might be the best team ever, or they might be the retirement homes league and all the wheels will fall off in like May of next year. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I don't think I'd be mad if I were a supporter and they just crash out of everything at this point. I think I'd be disappointed, but not mad.
Because you have
That makes
Messi. Like, at the end of the day,
I mean, at the
you
end
have
of the
Messi. Who
day,
cares? If not
And-
this
and
year,
then
next
I'm-
year.
and then I'm a Colorado fan because Messi's going there next.
Let's go, Messi to the
Or
wooden
Toronto,
spoon
At this point,
winner.
Toronto
Messi
maybe.
to the wooden spoon winner. I don't know, man.
Yep.
Dude, the whole story is just so intriguing at this point, and it's more intriguing just like watch everybody cry about the fact that Messi's here with Miami. That's my favorite part. All of it. Moving on to Montreal and Cincinnati, which traveling to Montreal ain't always the easiest. Can Montreal
Yeah.
pull up an upset here against Cincinnati?
Yeah, I mean Montreal's been a bit of a bugaboo for Cincinnati traditionally, but I guess a lot of teams have been bugaboos for Cincinnati traditionally because they've never really been that good.
Right? uncharted territory here.
The weird part here, Montreal has just 2 wins in their last 8 home matches.
That's
which
weird.
is pretty crazy. They started out the year winning 8 straight from April to June, but since then they've been like completely blanked at Stade Saputo. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Lucho's back. I think Cincy takes care of business, but we'll see. It might be, in all fairness, it might be time for Cincy to just start putting the brakes on a little bit, like start resting some guys for playoffs.
Right.
Because like realistically, you want to do that now and then give them like the last 2 or 3 games to like get back into it.
Right. You
know?
want to run into the playoffs. You don't want to start at the playoffs.
So like you just rest everybody now, give them like the next 3 games off, and then like the last 3 games they can kind of get back into it a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. It depends on how Cincy plays it, but I still think Cincy's a pretty heavy favorite, even if they're on the road.
I agree. We've kind of talked about the project that's building in Montreal. I just don't think they're there yet, and I think they know that, and they're kind of just working through some things. They are kind of just getting it done. This is perfect for Cincinnati to really solidify that lead, and yeah, I agree. Cincinnati should be able to get it done with Lucho back in the starting 11. Orlando and NYCFC. You ain't got no history,
except a very tiny banner.
Tiny banner.
So NYC has only won 3 of its last 24 matches in all competitions, which is not good. The last time that I checked,
they're bad.
But Orlando and NYC always draw each other. So
it is
let down
always
on the road after a big win for Orlando.
For those who don't know, who are maybe listening to this or overseas and just getting into the MLS, Orlando City and NYCFC came into the league the same year. The season opener was against each other. Ever since then, it has been nonstop back and forth with NYCFC. There's really not a lot of separation from these two teams. It is always constantly back and forth, typically a draw. I've had some really important moments in different scenarios in Open Cups, playoffs, all this fun stuff. Always NYCFC seems to happen there. I can tell you right now, I do not know how I feel about this game. If I were them, after everything that happened in Columbus, you got to know these boys are tired. They exerted themselves. They laid it all out on the field. I think this trip to NYCFC is the perfect opportunity to completely rest everybody, play your kids, let everybody relax, take on Miami on Sunday at home. Because I think the way that we got knocked out of Leagues Cup by Miami left a sour taste. Easily, everybody could agree we were the better player. I think they want to win this game. We've taken down Cincinnati. We've taken down St. Louis. We've taken down Columbus. If we can take down a Miami
we'll
with Messi,
to Miami in the playoffs.
You shut your mouth. I think that this game is
Miami can't get to the 7 seed, so you're good.
I think this game is really important
either.
for the boys in purple. I say play the kids, rest them all. If we lose to NYCFC, it doesn't matter anyway. I say you just take the rest, and like you were saying, rest them now, get it out of the way, and then just take the rest of the season by the horns and shoot for the MLS Cup.
Love
it. Austin, New York Red Bulls. I don't want to watch anything about this game. I don't even want to think about this game.
We're not even going to talk about it.
Whatever, y'all.
Neither one of these teams is making the playoffs. Moving on.
Chris, the game of the weekend.
Game of the week. Here we go.
Do you take the Fighting Ben Olsens or the Lady Sartinis? Who is it going to be? Who comes out on top in this game? Granted, Coco Carrasquilla will be missing due to yellow card accumulation. So Houston will be missing a few players, not by choice.
On the field.
He will not. But it is a home game for Houston. Vancouver's on the road, but Houston's going to inadvertently rotate a little bit with some suspensions and some injuries. And Vancouver is kind of nice right now. Who do you have taking this game? I will go for the Fighting Ben Olsens simply because they are at home. No other reason. I think these two teams would be fun on any given night.
You, sir, are a smart man, according to the statisticals.
Oh, yay. Look at me. I know something. It only took me like 6 games, but we got here.
The home side has only lost 1 of the 21 all-time meetings between these two teams.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was that deep.
Yes. So it is almost always a home team, either win or draw. And yeah, I mean, I could see win for Houston. I could see a draw. Vancouver going on the road and getting a win at the Fighting Ben Olsen seems like a little bit of a stretch. So
Yes.
I could see that.
I would agree with that. It's either a draw or I think Houston takes all three. Either way, it should be a fun. It's going to be like drunk. It's going to be drunk MLS. I feel like that game.
Oh,
is
yeah.
It's going to be drunk.
Peak.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh, also 16 of those 21 games have been home team wins. So
Oh, there you go.
not
There
a
it
lot
is.
of draws in this series even.
Fighting Ben Olsen's Kansas City and Nashville will be clashing. The clash of the barbecue clash. Nashville can't score goals, but they do have Sam Surridge, and Kansas City has the boy Tim Melia. I feel like if it was any, this is going to be like a 0-0 draw.
So to be fair, I think Nashville does have good barbecue, but they're known for their Nashville hot chicken. So I think barbecue, I think we're gonna have to go with Sporting Kansas City on this one. You know,
Okay,
just
fair.
from a pure barbecue flavor perspective, their sauce is better than just like hot sauce, which is just kind of what Nashville has.
Oh, Mexican. I love my hot sauce, boy.
Yeah, that's really all I have on this game. It's just a barbecue breakdown for you.
Okay. Yep. The Battle of the BBQs. Chicken
Yeah.
could be barbecue, whatever. St. Louis LAFC, which would also be a candidate for game of the weekend. This
No.
could be an all-out shootout. It is in St. Louis. Does
Yes.
LAFC have what it takes to travel to St. Louis and battle for the top of the Western Conference? Maybe? No?
I mean,
think-
I hate to pick against St. Louis again.
Yeah,
But I'm
really?
picking against St. Louis again.
Really?
LAFC has won all 7 regular season matches against expansion teams, including a 3-0 win over St. Louis City this July. So they have not even ever drawn a game. They've outscored those teams 17-1 in those 7 games. So it's normally not close. And I think this will be a lot closer than that. But LAFC just kind of beats teams that are new for whatever reason.
Not only teams that are new, teams that play a high line and high press on the counter when you have people like Buwanga, who is going to completely make that run behind the line. They are going to be exposed. It could get ugly if St. Louis I don't know. Tim Parker's always out. If Tim Parker's out again, like always, they are in a lot of trouble. So if he's not, LAFC has all the weapons to completely decimate the St. Louis team. It should be a fun one, but it could also get completely out of hand if St. Louis has one of those nights. So I agree. I will go LAFC on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I hate picking against the number 1 seed all the time, but we're going to do it again.
You clearly don't hate it because you continue to do it.
I don't like it because I keep being wrong, but it's fine.
Ooh. Colorado, Seattle.
So the fun stat about this rivalry is that Seattle has the most wins over the Rapids of any team in MLS over another team in MLS since they joined the MLS. And I said MLS a lot there, so you know that's a good stat. They've won 24 of the 36 all-time meetings. This has been a very one-sided rivalry. Kevin Cabral will, we think, be on the field. We do not expect that he will make a big impact in this game, though. So it will be a quintessential Kevin Cabral afternoon in Seattle. Actually, I think it's in Colorado, but it'll also be a Kevin Cabral afternoon in Seattle as well.
I don't know. As down as I am on Seattle, a lot of the times, Colorado's just down way worse. Even in elevation, all those excuses that you can make for a Colorado team, it is not going to happen. You have Seattle on this one.
Would you be surprised? Would you be surprised if Kevin Cabral actually showed up to Lumen Field in Seattle for this game and was actually in the wrong stadium when they played?
I would be a little surprised at that, but I wouldn't be surprised if he kicked the ball and it landed in that stadium.
And he still missed the goal.
Oh yeah, dude. Some of those skied balls, some would say they're still going. Some would say they're still going. Kevin Cabral, boy, does he have a foot on him.
He really just wants to be an astronaut. That was his lifelong dream.
You should go to Houston then.
Oh, I
see what I did there.
Yikes.
RSL and Dallas. Another team, another battle of the mids. Salt Lake on the way down. Dallas, it's questionable just all the time. I really don't have a feel on a game like this. Where is it? I'll go with Dallas on this one simply because I'm just really down on RSL right now. No, that's just the way I feel. Give me the stats. Make me sound right.
Well, I'm gonna make you sound dumb on this one.
Dang it.
RSL has actually won 5 of its last 7 home games, which is crazy because it doesn't feel like that, but
See, here you go with
that
the
is
specifics.
true. That is a true stat. FC Dallas, on the other hand, has won 3 of its last 15 regular season games. So Dallas is in more of a downward spiral than RSL is. RSL is also at home. RSL also has Chico Arango. RSL also is at home.
And that means a lot.
That does mean a lot. It does. Yeah.
That's fair. I don't have a feel on these two teams when it comes to Dallas, and I've said it, and it's been that way for years. I don't know what it is, but nothing about Dallas excites me. Nothing about Dallas makes me want to watch Dallas. I watched Dallas a little bit this weekend because I had the Paul Areola. Even then, I was like,
well, I don't want to watch
I
anymore.
was like, I literally don't want to watch this. It was just, God, I'm sorry, FC Dallas fans. I'm sure you're great as people and fans. Your team, I just cannot get behind. Sure, I'll go with the RSL. You got the stats.
To be fair, Dallas is good against RSL directly. They've only lost 3 of their last 14. But current form-wise and home field-wise, we think RSL.
Okay, fair enough.
Probably a low-scoring game, though.
Most likely, 100%. Yeah. Now, this game, LA Galaxy and Minnesota. I'm going to continue to root for Minnesota as much as I can because I have become a Minnesota homer this year, which inadvertently across the season have built a Minnesota stack somehow. Unintentionally. Not on purpose, but I got one. I ran it for the most part against this LA Galaxy team who continue to lose players to injuries. They're just not really that good, period. And we've said it again. We've said it again. We've said it a million times, and we'll say it one more time. If Ricky Push is not getting it done, they're not making it happen. It's not really happening for this LA team. And yeah, I really don't think they'll get it done. And I think Minnesota will kind of steal this one. And Minnesota needs it.
They both need it. I mean,
Minnesota needs it.
The Galaxy are out if they don't get one.
Yeah, Minnesota has more.
Whereas Minnesota is like Minnesota has more time left to kind of make that back up. The Galaxy are unbeaten in 6 straight home matches, which is, not a long run, but it's something. Minnesota lately has been dominating the Galaxy. They are unbeaten in their last 4 head-to-head. So
Minnesota's been dominating like every game they've been playing. They just can't win them. They can't find the back of the net right now. They are in a dry spell. Against Jonathan Bonds, might be easy to break that spell. Just saying.
Billy Sharp.
Old man Sharp. Billy Sharp. Billy Sharp. Okay. Are you one of the? Are you a hater? Are you a hater of that chant? Because I love it. I think it's great.
I'm a hater just because that's now going to be in my head for the next 3 days. So I appreciate you.
Job done. If I don't get a video of you watching this LA Minnesota game, just screaming at the top of your lungs, Billy Sharp.
Billy Sharp. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah. LA Galaxy. We'll see you next year. That's the way I feel about it at this point.
I don't know. I think this is their last chance. I think they have one more chance. They can win this game. They're not dead yet.
All right,
it's like that. Out. It's like the what is it? Monty Python. Not dead yet.
Okay. Oh, look at you! Look at you with those references.
Oh, old school. That's a great movie, by the way.
All you old heads will get it. Oh man, what a throwback! That's incredible. Well, let's speak of some more old heads with these old teams like San Jose and Portland. Okay, San Jose and Portland.
What a match this is!
This will be a match.
Do or die playoff matches. This is the one.
I will give Portland the upper edge in this, being that this game is in Providence Park, one of the #1 destination on my list of MLS parks to visit. Portland and San Jose, Evander, new coach bump. Portland has been kind of finding their form a little bit against the San Jose, who is another one of those teams who you never know what you're going to get. Just depends on the night, depends on the day. And I got Portland winning this one. I feel like Portland might want it more. I feel like they have more to prove right now. And yeah, that's just the way I feel.
So Portland will be trying to avoid MLS history in this game, which is pretty sick.
Avoid
What
MLS are they avoiding? History.
San Jose only has 2 road wins this season.
Ooh.
At Vancouver, at Seattle. Ooh. That's it.
Interesting.
No team in MLS history has beaten all 3 Cascadia teams away. Ever. So if San Jose can get this win, they will make MLS history. Now,
okay.
MLS history tells us that they're not getting this win because Portland is unbeaten in 16 all-time matches at home against San Jose, including 12 wins in the 16 games. So
this is not the Portland of old.
This true, but it kind of is because they always do this. We get to August and we're like, oh, this team sucks. And here comes Portland. So it kind of is a Portland of old. Like they're kind of getting into the groove now. They're in a playoff spot technically, although Dallas has 2 games in hand. So,
the worst part is that you've like literally thrown that in I think every episode since we like started doing this again. That you've just been like, I don't know. Hey, they're gonna come back at the end of the year. They always do. And I'm like, oh,
they look really bad. This happens every year, man. I don't know why we're surprised. I don't know why we expect something different. Portland always beats San Jose at home, but if for some miracle San Jose pulls this one out, it will be MLS history.
Simply for the fact that it could be a historic win. I almost want to be like, you know what, San Jose, just go ahead and get it done. But I kind of want to root for Portland now. I don't know.
Evander and Felipe Mora have each scored 3 goals since the League's Cup has ended, which is incredible.
Which is when they fired the coach, right?
They've both kind of like started actually playing, which is amazing.
I'm telling you, it had to have been a coach thing, or it had to have been some locker room thing where they just weren't over it. But it also, and I don't remember if I said this in the last episode or not. After watching Evander, he has that like personality or that like kind of like the way he like just goes around the pitch just seems very just lackadaisical and like he just doesn't care and like doesn't want to be there. But then he gets the ball and it just like turns on and just like makes some magic happen. So it's one of those things where you like watch him and you're just like, all right, bro. Like it almost makes you not want to like really like him, or it makes you want to like have a differing opinion of him. But then he's class. It's there. And now that he's actually showing like he wants to try and win, apparently, Portland's a little sneaky.
Maybe he was the perfect Portland player all along.
Oh, shows up at the end only. And that big brain. Talk about big brain plays. Chris, we talked a lot. That was a lot.
We did talk a lot. This is what happens when MLS smashes all these games in these midweeks. We got to just keep talking, man.
And just think, we're
going to talk more on Thursday.
Oh, we're going to talk more on Thursday because we're coming at you with the live stream. And Chris, what are we doing? It's kind of your idea. Tell them.
I don't remember. Can you remind me? No, so we're going to do like a little, so we're in the States lineup show preview. We're both going to set lineups. Yeah. We're gonna if you join us live at a time to be determined, because we didn't talk about that before the show. If you join us live at TBD, then we will maybe answer some of your lineup questions as well, and there may be special incentives.
Whoa! Don't give them too much, buddy.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
You know what?
And there will be long incentives.
So I was thinking about this, right? Because we mentioned it before. We were like, hey, we kind of want to do live. Do we have more European listeners? Do we have more American listeners? When should we do it? Guess what? I have your solution. We don't know because none of you reached out. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to go on social medias. You're going to hit whatever alert bell or whatever notification thing there is. You're going to turn them on so that when we do go live, you know. And guess what? If you're the first one in, you're the first one to say hello. You might get something nice or not, or don't be there. You know what? I don't know. But
We
yeah,
cannot make
Thursday.
your life decisions for you.
No, we
But
cannot.
We can tell you on Thursday at TBD.
Thursday TBD.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. That's the
it.
tweet.
That's the tweet.